Good morning, the Doctor BMS viewers, and welcome to yet another informative video. Today, I'm very happy to be joined by a young adult to talk about the challenges facing young adults. So welcome. She's going to introduce herself and we pick it from there.
Wow, thank you. My name is Astana Kesa. I am a podcaster and a communications professional on my 8 to 5. So my podcast is called Be Different. I'm glad to be here, Doctor.
Most welcome. This is the Doctor BMS channel. BMS is for body, mind, and soul.
Okay.
And here we're looking holistically at our young adults, especially on growing up in this day and age. What are you young adults going through? How can we help make it better for you?
Well, okay, first and foremost, disclaimer, I hope I will represent young adults well. But we have challenges.
Yes.
No one told us. We were not prepared. We were not prepared for adulting. We have a lot of challenges. What I've picked from my own experience, the one major one is financial management.
Wow.
Yes. I feel like most of us did not grow up with the skills or the education around financial management, but we are learning as we go.
On the job.
Yes, we are learning on the job. So that's a big one that has really affected us. And of course, parenting. I usually say parenting should have been taught when we were given sex education. We should have been taught parenting.
Parenting at the same time.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the whole issue of, I don't know what to call it. So is it social? I don't know. Is it like that extra skill you need to survive
They're
the
actually
work?
social skills.
Yes. Because 844 was very, tuko tunasoma, you do your school to do your exams, right?
That's
you
true.
pass, you go out there and expect you get work, and you think you're going to apply whatever it is that you read or you learned.
You learned, yes.
But you come here and there are so many other things in play over and above what you learned, over and above what you need to do exactly. So that's the simple courtesies of, human interaction, how you say hi to people in the morning, how you socialize in the office, because then it will affect how even the other person passes the lessons to you, or how the person orients you in the office, because there was that lack of induction or absorption into the workplace, because the older folks are thinking, ulienda shule
and you're an adult now
and you have a degree.
Yes.
Then come show us what you learned. So they're not teaching you work, but there's a way work is done here.
Yeah,
so there's that disconnect, and you even wonder, do these old folks have issues with you? You have issues. We are not coming to take your jobs. Like, just teach us how work is done. So you're made to just go through the desert. It's like you're going through the desert as you learn.
And this is very important because when I speak to young people, they will talk about the challenges of finances. And the challenges of finances is the lack of them. So you think when money is poured on your table, then I'm sorted. Now you're bringing out another challenge that you have the finances, but how do you manage your finances? That sounds to be a challenge.
That is
coming out.
Huge
Then
challenge.
the thing you're also talking about is the interaction to the workplace and getting, your feel on the workplace. Because most young people feel, I don't have a job. All I need is a job. So you want to get to that job and run with it. So there are also challenges even when you get to that job. As a communication specialist, what have you seen in the offices, and what do you think about what can be done?
The huge disconnect is between what is being taught and what is actually happening. So maybe we need educational reforms because at the end of the day, you see what you are taught in school, and then you come here and you find the context is completely different, and people are doing things as they happen. And a lot of changes is happening, especially in the corporate world. And you enter and you find things are going on completely different. And how you thought or how you learned to write a letter, some formal letter. There's a way we used to add composition. You can even, your English, you are just ready to deliver. You come here and find that things are happening differently.
Yes.
There's an attitude. Apparently your words, they, attitude, tone, and all that. And if you do not have that friendship with the people in the office, or that relationship, then you're just like sort of put in a corner, for lack of a better word. You're like, that chick doesn't know what she's doing. Or see, walisema msichana amesoma, and like people start talking about you in the office instead of like
interacting and helping you. Thank you for bringing that out, because I think this is also a lesson to the young adults. As you prepare to come into the workplaces, then you need to be prepared. You need to prepare wider, more than just the textbooks and the papers you come with. I hear you talk about the need for soft skills. Despite the papers, you need to know how to interact with people, so that in that workplace they don't see you as a threat. They don't see you like you have an attitude, and they leave you to your own designs. You can learn with them and gel into the into the workplace. Oh, thank you very much.
There's also that aspect of humility that we usually, that is I don't know whether it's a general mindset that we carry. Like all older people feel younger people have pride for some reason.
Yes.
And sometimes I just feel like it's a generalized attitude or stereotype.
Yeah, it's a stereotype.
Maybe if we do we buy humility coats and wear, like we need to just be humble so that
you learn.
And then there's also the assumption that young people know too much.
But they think they know.
Or they think they know too much. So that aspect of learning is cut short from there, or that aspect of education, or that aspect of mentorship. Yeah, actually.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for bringing up mentorship. Tell me what young people think they can benefit more from mentorship. Are they ready? Are they going to be humble enough to be mentored by the older generation?
See, that's why I've said there's this attitude, stereotype. We close a lot of doors by just assuming stuff. Generally, assumptions just close a lot of doors. So that aspect of us as young people, we should come in with humility, and just be, of course, ready to learn, and not assume that these older generation people, like, you guys do certain things in a certain type of way. I feel like we all have something to teach each other.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
So there's a system, or there's a culture that you can teach me that I will always need, right? And there's a way I can teach you some things that are applicable today. So there's that it's called what?
The give and take. We need to meet somewhere,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that you can be able to mentor me. I've also picked that up, especially like in where we work.
Yes.
There's that disparity of a very old generation and a younger generation that is coming up. And there's a lot of things that will be lost. Imagine, Daktari, if you don't pass it down, the history will be lost. So many things of why things were done. We need to understand as the younger generation that is coming up. And therefore that needs just find ways of passing it down for posterity also.
Thank you so much. Because I can imagine, especially in the communication industry, there's been a revolution, I can tell you.
Sure.
So coming from those of us who are called before computers, and now the computers came and they have just moved the social media platforms we have, and the platforms we have for interactions. I mean, we before you catch up with this one, there's another one, and then there are these young people who are running with all these platforms. Can be also quite intimidating for the older folks, right?
They are. I'm sure. They are intimidating. I want to agree with you, but also they bring a lot to the table, and at the end of the day, we cannot deny that this thing is opening up a lot. There's a lot we can do when we accept innovation and this digital revolution. I was recently in a digital summit, and they were just saying the way technology is dictating what needs to be done.
Yes.
And therefore everyone needs to jump on the wagon. And actually that was the other discussion of older people being the gatekeepers of, they're the decision makers. At the end of the day, they're the ones putting the signatures on our innovations. So we come here with very brilliant ideas, bring to my boss, and since my boss does not understand, he'll just say no.
Wow.
Because of fear.
Yes.
Not, and because he feels like it's too much. I won't understand it
I see.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And we can't run away from the digital revolution that is going on.
That is good. Thank you very much for this
welcome.
challenge. I think it's a challenge both for the younger generations and the older generation that we need to work together. The younger generation needs to be mentored into responsible citizenship. They have a lot to give, like you're saying, the areas of innovation. You have very innovative minds.
That's true.
And you just need to be supported and given the space to mature and to grow. But like we have also said, the younger generation also needs to learn the soft skills of how to interact, how to be teachable, especially where you're coming from a point of disadvantage. Like you say, the people are the gatekeepers, the older generation are the gatekeepers. So you need to know how to open.
That we won't necessarily go anywhere without those signatures.
Yes, how to get that signature. Thank you very much. What would be your final word to these young adults?
I need to go back to young adulting.
Yes.
For the longest time, we've always said adulting is a scam. You're the one who should be telling us what we should do to ease into it, because it's very unsettling. The biggest fear is, will we achieve half of what our parents achieved? Because those guys did a lot. You know, they had 5 to what? An average of 5 to 4 to, like, they had many kids, and they were taking all of them to school, and they were working, and they managed to settle in, and they're just, you know, like, by my own standards, they were very successful. So we are trying to play catch up, unfortunately, and I feel like maybe that's the pressure we are putting on ourselves as young adults. But see, we will make it. You will make it, certainly, and you are making it. Let me tell you, when we see the innovation young people are bringing up, you're really doing well for yourselves. The only thing I would tell young adults, work more with the adults, with the older adults, because you see what happens. You're coming from adolescence and teenage, where there's a bit of rebellion, somebody wanting to find themselves, and that is where some of the gaps come in. When you could have learned these skills of how to manage your money, how to learn the soft skills on how to talk to elders, how to get instruction and follow it. That is lost, is getting lost, because now it's getting accentuated that people want their independence and they think they know. So most of the time the teenagehood is taking longer, and then you find yourself, you've just entered into adulthood, which is what you were looking forward to. And like I had said in the first, you're thinking, for me it's just lack of money. Give me the money, my problems are sorted. Or it's just lack of a job. Give me a job and I'll be okay. Then you realize inside that job, now there are the challenges we are talking about. So we need to have this continuous discussion. And as soon as you learn or you realize that there's a gap, then retreat and take the steps towards learning. So open communication and learning, I would think, is the way to go for us to work together. And then I know the older people are always happy to pass down their wisdom. Really? Okay. They're always happy to pass down their wisdom. It's only whom are we passing it to? So avail yourself to this classroom and learn. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you visiting the Doctor BMS.
And for representing the young adults, I'm sure they are well represented out there. You've highlighted their challenges, and we've seen a few tips on how we can cope. We'll continue having this discussion so that we can keep learning from each other. Thank you, Esther, for coming.
Cheers.
Bye. Till next time.